Should I sell my home as is or fix it up? Big question. So hi everyone, Beth Sager, and the question for today is, should I sell my home as is or fix it up first? And that is a conversation to be had. So my philosophy is that you should fix your house in regards to like deferred maintenance, but that you shouldn't upgrade anything, especially in this market, in the towns that we service. You know, most of your money was made when you purchased the house, right? You're now just cashing the check at this point. And if you've lived with, old vanities in your bathrooms, why do you feel like it's necessary to spend $10,000 and create something new for someone else? I mean, will it sell your house faster? Not necessarily. Will it give you a whole lot more money? Not necessarily. What if you choose something that the buyer doesn't like? What if they wanted a blue vanity and you put in white and they're going to want to redo it? And here's the thing, when the buyer comes in and sees that you've already redone something, but it's not to their liking, it's kind of a turnoff, because then they're like, oh, like if you had just left the 1950s vanity, then I wouldn't mind pulling it out and putting in my own. But now you've upgraded it. And so now I feel bad taking it out. I really do feel like buyers go through that sort of in their head, what they're thinking. So as is not necessarily as is. I mean, we can write as is all over the listing and what have you. But if an offer comes in and they have a home inspection, I mean, as is doesn't really buy you anything. It buys you the right to say, we're not fixing anything, but it doesn't allow the offer to come in sort of free of any contingencies. So what should you fix up when you're selling your house? Well, okay, so the first thing is the outside, because when people walk up to a house, if the outside is messy, they think, oh, you didn't take care of this house. And by messy, I mean like that the front walkway and stairwell, whatever, looks decent. That's important. That the trim isn't punchy or what have you, that the paint isn't chipping. So, I mean, yes, you might have to, do some work on the outside, clean up some trim, paint a little bit, nothing major. We're not talking like 3 coats and a primer, but just sort of cleaning up the outside of the house. On the inside, I think the most important things are ceilings. No one wants to see cracks and they don't want to see staining. So a lot of people, maybe their kids overflowed the tub like 10 years ago, and they of course fixed the leak or whatever if there was one, but the ceiling turned brown and they just never bothered to repaint the ceiling. So we would fix things like that. Or, when you have cathedral ceilings and stuff, a lot of times there's just cracks where the drywall is. Like that is just the function of houses breathing and, in the seasons, right? Contracting and expanding, and your drywall pulls apart. So we fix that, right? So we're talking about painting some ceilings maybe and fixing a little drywall, but we're not talking about recreating a whole new kitchen. And it's a slippery slope, because people say, okay, should I paint my cabinets? Yeah, maybe, so painting cabinets is probably, $7,000 to $10,000. But then are you going to upgrade your knobs and handles, right? Then, okay, so you've updated those, but now your light fixtures in the kitchen don't match. You're going to do that. And then your doorknobs don't match. So it's a super slippery slope as to when you start looking at things. And I feel like as the seller, when you're ready to sell your house, you start to notice everything that bothered you the whole time you lived there, plus new things that you think, oh my goodness, they're going, buyers are going to see this one little thing on my molding that's, that was scratched when the kids were little and they took their tricycle around the corner. They're not. Buyers look at sort of the whole picture and they evaluate it from whole, right? Okay, that bathroom needs to be redone. Okay, that kitchen's fine. We can live with it for 10 years or what have you. But what they don't want to see is a house where you haven't taken care of things. And that is sort of like what you should fix versus as is. And I hope that's helpful. Thanks.